Welcome back, everyone, to another C3 Live at 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on our other links. But today, we're just going to be doing a quick overview. We're going to be looking at where's the market at. We're at critical resistance. Bitcoin's at 44K. We've struggled to break it. We've been rejected here before. We're wondering, where are we heading next? Also, we're wondering, is now a good time? Are we looking long term? Are we looking short term? I want to know worst case scenario, and I also want to keep that moon boy alive and know best case scenario. So we're going to take a look into that, as well as you know, you can always count on a little bit of NFT and play to earn love in the metaverse. So SiFu will be sharing some love and giving you guys a quick overview on that as well. So with that being said, let's dive right into what is going on. Right now, we like to start with Coin 360, and you can see Bitcoin is at 44,089. Ethereum's at 3155. Solana's 102.52. AVAX is up 5% at 97. BNB is at 430.50 cents. And that's kind of all we get right here. But we want to know what's going on for the volume. So we're going to come over here to block size. We're going to take it from market cap and push it down to volume. And now we can see a little bit of a different picture. And this picture is why we play this game. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for an understanding of where is money going. And it's not just going into stable coins. You can see it looks like there's a lot of little alts that have been staying green and maintaining some consistency. Obviously, AVAX is outperforming. You can see the Torn, XVS, and RLY down here doing really good. Torn is at 37.38 or TORN, and XVS is at 12.14. It's up 23% on the day, and RLY is up 47% on the day. So that's always fun to look at. And then as you guys know, we like to know what's going on right now. This is a day-to-day market, and this is a minute by minute, so we can at least go hour by hour. So we're going to come over here to the hour on Coin 360, and we can see volume is flooding in everywhere. This is a great sign. This is what we want to see. This is what we're looking for. So there's not much to say other than, heck yes, we're happy. Let's go. Let's go ahead and slide over to CoinGecko, and we can take a look at what's going on. You can also see on CoinGecko, for those of you that are unfamiliar, you can see how many total coins are in circulation. So we have projects, not coins. 12,614 different tokens. You have 559 different exchanges, and our market cap is currently at 2,085,104,000,000 plus. So with all of that being said, those numbers change, and those numbers are also considered vitals that can help you dictate where you believe the market's going, and we're going to guide you through that process in creating your own opinion. So also, crucial number up here is 24-hour volume going into the entire market. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3 commas. So that's $74 billion, 129,323,564 to the T of 24-hour volume. Bitcoin dominance is at 40%, where it's been sitting at, and Ethereum dominance is at 18.1%. So very fun to take a look at these numbers up here. This is where I'm getting all of that information. So be sure to check out CoinGecko and get your daily update and your daily dose. But let's see who's our top performer for the day. And right up here, we can see in our top 100, because remember, this is only going to show us our top 100, is we have Neo's up 13.4%, Dash is up 8.3%, Avalanche is up 6%, Filecoin's up 5%. So we're seeing a lot of healthy moves. AMP's up 4.9%. I know a lot of us, we're huge fans of KuCoin token, and KuCoin's up 2.7%, KCS. So really exciting to see these projects start to show health. Also on CoinGecko, you can go over here to category and narrow your search and still look at top performers and worst performers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and see who's suffering the most today. Kusama's down 4.8%. Looks like it's on sale. CeeLo's down 3.8%. Radix is down 3.6%. Gala's down 3.5%. And Sandbox is on sale 2.9%. It's an exciting project, one that we are very interested in and big fans of. So market's looking pretty good. We're in a little bit better position than we've been in, especially in the last few months considered. But let's see, do we have any relevant news going through that we need to know about? What's going on? What's new? Twitter enables users to give and receive Ethereum tips natively. So, and also my apologies, we have listeners. We are podcasting this show now as well. So we're going to try and be a little bit more detailed and descriptive for our listeners. So for those of you listening, we are on cointelegraph.com and we're looking at their latest news. So Twitter enables users to give and receive Ethereum tips natively. That's exciting. So now you can tip socially with cryptocurrencies on some of the top platforms like Twitter. You have RCMP asked crypto exchange to halt trading for wallets connected to truck convoy protests. So that's one of the issues going on in Canada. Currently, I do believe Canada has announced some financial news regarding limiting bank access for any reason to private banking and financing, as well as commercial and corporate. So pretty alarming. They definitely, Canadian citizens are on guard, waiting for a little bit more clarity and what to expect. And not really the best look for crypto, but we have high hopes. Most of the time, stories start out kind of poorly and then end up in our favor. So US-based crypto firm joins forces for travel rule compliance. So there'll be a new trust can provide comprehensive compliance across the crypto industry. Also, if you're not taking the time to learn about Bitcoin is Europe's biggest risk, says Belgian MP. So I bet this is going to be a fascinating article. There's so much going on in the crypto world that it's so hard to cover everything. That's why we just want to expose you guys to what's there. If this is relevant to you, be sure to check it out. That's why we give you all the resources as well. But we try to just briefly cover what we're looking at. Fidelity International launches Bitcoin ETP on Dutch Bourse. We have Chainlink verifiable random function VT goes live on mainnet. So that is something exciting and that is relevant to us. We are looking forward to Chainlink's moves this year. Chainlink has a lot going for them. They're one of the only oracles for all blockchains. And I think a lot of people overlook that. So let's dive into this one really quick. And we can see that Alexander Leonard Larsen, Chief Operating Officer of Axie Infinity, another one of our favorite projects, commented, verifiable randomness solutions like Chainlink VRF V2 are essential for developers introducing entropy into on-chain gaming and NFT experiences, empowering them to create fair and tamper-proof play-to-earn games. So excited to see where this ends up and how this will affect Chainlink as an asset. One of our favorites, a project that we do hold and we continue to look into more of. So that's enough for the news and the quick little overview. Let's go ahead and look at the charts because we have a couple of different stories being painted. And because there's so much uncertainty, I really wanted to bring up a couple of different macro perspectives for you guys so we can really have some confidence and peace of mind going into this market. So what we're looking at right now is we're looking at a chart of the total market cap of all cryptocurrency that's currently at, in this exact moment, $1.96 trillion. And we are looking at it on week candles, 1 week candles. So each one of these candles represents 1 week of trading. And as you can see, we have been in a healthy channel since conception. And this is March 3rd of 2014 is perceived to be the conception and when we started charting the entire market cap. And since then, we have been in this beautiful bullish channel. And currently, we're just down at the bottom of it. And to me, this means that we have a lot of room to grow. We can go from here and work our happy butts all the way up to there. And that is exciting. We've seemed to, we've seemed to support this channel the entire existence of cryptocurrency and its adoption phase, even through all of the horrible stories, all of the uncertainty, everything that showed up that made people question the integrity or the fundamentals of cryptocurrency is represented in this chart. And what this chart tells me is this asset or this asset class is going to continue in the right direction. And so to put things in perspective, now that we're looking at the total market cap, let's take up something that some people are a little bit more familiar with. This is gold, and this is gold futures. And what you can see on the Barrick Gold Corporation, we've been charting this, and we have access to data since April of '85. So very similar time frame of data. And I tell you what, just looking at patterns, this is not nearly as seductive of a chart as crypto market cap. So what we're looking at is we're looking at still perceivably a healthy asset because gold has continued to make higher lows and higher highs throughout its time, with the exception of this period right here in 2012. Since then, we have been under our macro trend line, which if I was holding gold, I would be slightly alarmed and I probably wouldn't be running my mouth on Bitcoin because my chart looks worse than theirs. So that's one of the fun things that I like bringing up to people, showing them what we're looking at. Also, you can see the Dow Jones is a very similar story. It's been a lot better than gold, but it definitely hasn't been as stable or consistent. So it was fun to me to find this chart and this correlation because people constantly talk about the volatility of crypto. But this chart right here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And remember, we're still looking at 1 week candles. And you can see back here from 1975, I decided to pick my point for a trend line and put a trend line all the way to current. And it's a pretty modest trend line. It's not anything impressive or anything that would invoke FOMO like the Bitcoin chart. So now that we've looked at the Dow Jones Industrial Average on weak candles and we've looked at the total market cap on weak candles, what does our beautiful baby Bitcoin look like on weak candles? So let me get rid of these because we're going to go into this later. You guys will absolutely understand what we're looking at in just a minute. But right now, this is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin looks like it's supported its macro trend line way better and way healthier than any of the traditional assets that we're used to looking at and paying attention to. So that's something that I want to keep in the back of everyone's mind for whatever news stories is coming up. What's next? I mean, even during the bloodshed crash of 2017, because there's a chart that's going across the interwebs right now, and everyone's worried that we're creating the same fractal that was in 2017 that we're creating right now. And that fractal may or may not be ironically similar and coincidental, but there's so many other variables that are not factored in to a charting fractal, like hyperinflation, mass adoption, mass integration, government balance sheets, corporation balance sheets. I mean, there's a lot of variables that I think supersede the fractal in that context. So I wanted to go ahead and validate that it looks good. I forget who posted it on Twitter, but a big shout out to him, and we'll try to leave the props below. But this is a healthy asset, and even in the worst case play out, you can see we support this trend line. So now that we've established how much we respect our macro trend line, what does that mean for the now? What does that mean today? So let's get this chart, make it a little easier to read. Let's zoom on in there, get rid of our little green markings. Those aren't needed right now. And so now we're going to get in here and look at Bitcoin on the day candles. And on the day candles, you can see we've been pumping. And on this channel, after a couple of healthy days of pumping, you're always wondering, where's our consolidation? Where are we going to retest support? Because if it's actually a healthy move, there should be some forms of retesting support. Well, right here, we can almost anticipate that if Bitcoin were to retest support, it would most likely respect the macro trend line that it's been respecting since conception. So I would anticipate to find very strong support around the $38,000 to $40,000 range. That is where I would be looking for healthy entries as well, because I feel that if we are to get drawn back, that is the range I have my eyes on and I am salivating over. And that's also, after looking at these charts, what I feel pretty confident in respecting that macro trend line, since there's only been a few instances in which it fell under it, and by falling under it, it barely wicked under it for very short periods of time. So we had, let's zoom out a little bit, this period right here, so we can get an idea of the longest time we've spent under our macro line before we came back up and retested it, was 130 days roughly. So obviously that's daunting to people to think about. Nobody likes being down money for one day, let alone 130 days. but this is a long game. We're in the game of crypto, and we have the trajectory is our friend, the trend, the long-term macro trend is our friend. So we also want to keep that in the back of our mind and know that we are in here for the long game and not get too fed up in the stories. Granted, they're relevant for dictating social sentiment and immediate market moves. They are not so relevant for the entirety of the trajectory that crypto is on. So I'm still extremely bullish in the long run. I really wanted to get that explained. I feel like I'm getting bombarded with questions every day. Where's Bitcoin going? What do they think? Is it going up? Is it going down? I'm like, honestly, I think it could go to 20K and still in a brutally healthy manner, as well as 200K. And how did I come up with that? Why do I think 20K and 200K? Well, because I noticed that we have very similar fractals and patterns. So I like to use past moves and past market directions and use that to dictate where I think this market is going. So right now we can see, let's pull up market cipher B so we can get a little bit more indicators for similarities on where we're at. But we can see right here, we've made our high, and then we came back and made a similar M formation, and now we're doing a retest. You can see a similar play out here with this big wick down. And also, if you zoom in right here, there is a very similar play out right there. So we could take, oh, my apologies. We could take that and see what would happen if that played out in today's market. And one of the easiest ways to do that is if you have a TradingView account, you just go over here to your bar patterns. You can come down here to bar patterns. If you don't have a TradingView account, highly recommend you get one. We have a link below. They are free. They are a game changer. If you're in crypto and you don't have a TradingView account, you're missing out. You definitely want to have a TradingView. So we go to the bar pattern and we can come over here and look at, okay, this was the last retest. What happened? And so we'll just take this healthy little move. Oh, we get two of them. I'm locked on a tool. So we get to take this healthy move. We'll go ahead and see what happens when we place it with where we've been. So right here, you can see if we were to repeat worst case scenario from 2018's crash, it would look something along the lines of crashing to 20K by May. And next thing you know, by October, we are back to $66,000. So it's a roller coaster, folks. That's really what it is. And if you've been in crypto long enough, you know that. We are on a roller coaster. It is a lot of fun. Sometimes it's a little intense, but it's the game we play, and it's the fun that we're having. And even in a $20,000 Bitcoin scenario this year, we would still be above $60,000 by the end of the year. This is a shakeout. They're trying to see who believes in what and how long you're willing to trust yourself and believe in what you have. So this is the worst case scenario, but I also want people to know that there's a similar play out right here. And so therefore, if we want to know the contrast, the best way to do that is we would have to respect it and take this play out as well. So by taking this play out, we can put this, we'll take that play out and we will move it up and see what kind of price point would that be. And the funny thing is, even with that play out, it still taps the 20K. But this is how we can end up to the $200,000 range still by November, December of this year. So these are patterns, these are moves that Bitcoin has already made. You cannot say that that's not possible because it's already happened. Now, the debate is what are the probabilities? And that's not something that you should allow someone else to answer for you. Not myself, not any other channels. There's no one that you should have answer that for you. That's something that you need to decide on your own. So this is really exciting to me. This was bullish as all get out. Every which way I put it, even in worst case scenarios, with the macro trend considered, we're in a great position. It might be a bumpy roller coaster. There might be all sorts of news on its way that's going to make people really reconsider things and think about what they're holding. But I want you guys to remember, at the end of the day, fortune favors the bold. As all the commercials you saw on the Super Bowl, it's comical that they're putting it in our faces, and yet they're testing us with these unfortunate stories and all the regulatory issues and everything. And it's like, until we break out of these macro trend lines and these macro channels, I'm not really worried. But I also want you guys to be fully aware that there could be some short-term volatility in it, and it might be uncomfortable depending on how you've chosen to position yourself and leverage your positions. So that's about it for me. A little bit more of a solemn, kind of serious note today. I hope you guys got some kind of value from that. But I want to know what's going on in the fun play to earn world and the metaverse. SiFu, what is good? Break it down for us, please, my dude.
Oh, will do, will do. What's up, everybody? So, might have a bit of a quicker run through today, but let's go ahead and just see what the charts are showing us. So, actually, not too much movement so far. We're actually down just slightly, 0.6%, um, leaving us sitting at 42.6 billion. So, we're kind of still up as far as the NFT charts go. And Mana has actually been quite healthy. They're pumping, sitting at $3.33. Looks like they may have a little more momentum behind, so I'll be watching closely. But most of the projects here, even though we're in the red, have kind of had a little bit of a positive movement, more sideways movement, but on the positive end of the sideways movement. And a lot of the current weekly contenders have been holding up. Smooth Love Potion still up there. Theta's been holding strong. Mana, holding the top. And then we have a few new projects, but Ultra was sitting up there yesterday. They're moving right up again today. They're actually up another almost 6.5% on the day. And yeah, a lot of positive movement, really. Everything that was holding strong still is. This is probably the newest contender today. My neighbor Alice. This game's actually been around for a while. They actually their all-time high is at $40, so we're sitting pretty low. We're actually on a little upswing up at $9, but they have a way to go to retrace that. But you can see they have quite a volatile movement in their pace, the way things go. But My Neighbor Alice is pretty cool game. Actually, it's like a farming game. It's gonna be. I don't think it's on there yet, but they're supposed to be available on Steam as well. So it kind of a little more friendly to just all the gamers and PC players. This looks like it's struggling on the load here. Just trying to give you guys a quick little idea, kind of the art style. Um, I'm not going to click on that video for you guys. We'll just get caught watching it. However, it's basically you just think of like Farmville. You get a plot of land and you kind of build on it. You first and foremost farm, I believe. But they're moving pretty strong, and you can see their partnerships is pretty big on their list. Got Sandbox right in there with them, so maybe they'll make some sort of integration with that. But it's a pretty cool game. They're the ones who caught my eye as far as the kind of top movers today, and the fact that they're actually still sitting so low from their all-time high maybe makes it maybe a juicy trigger point or exotic look as far as that goes. But let's go back and keep scrolling down a little bit. As you can see, as we get down the list, we start getting a few more green, but Network is still top mover. They're still moving pretty strong and friendly. So as far as the My Neighbor Alice, we're still looking at the creator side of the NFT world. Most of these projects, once again, are sitting on the creating aspect for NFTs and smart contracts, whether it's video content, video streaming, not just digital art. Like these guys right here, Video Coin. This is specifically for media content, and they have absolutely skyrocketed today, and they're actually on a little bit of a down from that, but up over 22%, almost 23%. So that's pretty impressive. But that's what we're kind of seeing this week, I've noticed so far, is everything is falling under the NFT smart contract creation aspect, or creation tools for not just developers, but everybody getting into it. And so we scroll down here, there's not too much going on that I haven't covered in the week so far. But if we look at our top contenders or trenders down here, Superfarm, I kind of went over that a little bit there. I'd recommend checking them out. Let's actually go into there. You guys get a quick view. So they're a pretty interesting concept. They're like it's a growing NFT system where obviously, you can create and get into NFTs, but there's a lot more to them than that. There's sort of video game concept going on. And this actually, surprisingly, this is like different page than I got to yesterday. Let's go to the farms. This is what they really, from what I gathered, is what they really are. So they're just like a super farm, a little bit different than your typical AMM, although all those have some sort of learning curve. But just as an idea here, if you do get in on farming on here, they've got an estimated $1,000 yield per day. They don't give you the exact APY. That's all going to be based off of what you put in here if you play within this and exchange some tokens. But yeah, once again, when you actually click into most of the projects thriving, they're not necessarily play to earn games, although those are up there as well. Um, but really, just like Al's been breaking down, we're seeing a lot of positive movement, but we're just watching carefully. We're watching as things kind of trend and move, and we're gonna see if they actually create support for themselves, or continue to break at the resistance we're seeing Bitcoin kind of hover at. So although the markets do move a little on their own, we're going to stick to those in close correlation with all the news going on. But as my man Al says, I am positive. I'm still feeling a little bit bullish on everything. But as far as that goes, we're just going to have to keep charting it on a day-to-day basis for you guys and just give you updates. I'd say not much movement from yesterday, but still on the bullish side. And basically, with that, if you guys really want to check something out, my neighbor Alice has been around for a while, probably one of the cooler games. And until next time, uh, we'll be diving into this and trying to get as much updates as we can.
Appreciate that, SiFu. Ah, man, that's exciting. I'm glad your world's about as fun as ours right now. I do want to end. I want to leave people with a little bit of short term. I know we have our friends out there that are just looking for what's going on now. We don't really care about macro. I want to know what kind of move do I have now. And we are definitely not predicting a move. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, but we do like to figure out and take some guesses on what's going on in this market. So I'm going to pull up a new Bitcoin chart for us and get rid of all of my butchered lines so we have a little bit of clarity, and we're going to take a quick look at what Bitcoin looks like. So let's go ahead and pull up what's going to be a fun chart for us. We'll use the Bybit chart. This should show some fun volatility. So currently we're looking at the BTC USD perpetual contract on Bybit. This is the Bybit chart on the 1 hour. And as you can see, we are starting to show, I believe our 50 EMA just started cresting above. So this is a bullish scenario. And we are looking at 44K as crucial resistance. And we might turn that into legit support. And that's the hope right now. That's what we're watching. We are going into the weekend. We have seen some exciting moves going into the weekend. But what I really want to point out, and I think a lot of people enjoy with this, is they want to know, what do our indicators say? And for the short term, let me tell you, Market Cipher B is satiated, loves what it's seeing. Market Cipher DBSI, satisfied as well, enjoys what it's seeing. As you can see right here, we zoom in, and when these bands start lighting up in color. You can see they drop their luminescent appearance here and go into like a dull opaque look. And as they start getting that vibrant white going into them, that is another bullish indicator. That is how that indicator commutes and shows us what's going on. So you can see back here in the past, as these bands start concentrating and illuminating into a lighter white, it generally leads to a short term or immediately after a bullish move. Granted, you can see there are still moves that can be made during that period that are not perceived bullish. So make sure that you zoom out when you're getting in and out of the market. Oh man, I'm just getting us closer and closer and closer. But follow your trend line. And my recommendation is pick your time frame. And a lot of people, I find myself saying this again and again. Pick your time frame, make a trend line, and then pick where on that trend line you think you'd be entering. So you can pick, and that's if you're looking to acquire it, if you're looking to trade it, this would be my recommendation. So we're on 30-minute candles. This is what I would be looking at, and then I'd be making sure that we're maintaining our trend line. But you can see this looks great here. You can zoom out to here, and that's a funny looking trend line. So maybe you might want to go to a longer time frame and see what this would look like and where your trend line would be, because it also allows you to experience the roller coaster of pricing a little bit more graciously. So right now you can see, following this trend line from just January 22nd, we can anticipate 42. 42 would be healthy. 43. So in the short term, I'm looking for hopefully a little trend line touch, and I'd like to see us continue to play out what we talked about yesterday on the channel. This has showed a inverse head and shoulders, and it's continuing to show that formation. So right here, we can see we have our head. Okay. Over here, we have our shoulders. And where we're sitting right now would be considered our neckline. So if this is our neckline and these are our shoulders, what kind of move would an inverse head and shoulders play out? Well, the best way to do that is you want to take the top of your head and your neckline, and that's kind of how most of these head and shoulders formations play out. So now we would take this move, and I'll bet you it's going to sit at a nice, comfortable level. And would you look at that? We know 55,000 has been a brutal level of resistance when we play there. We can go back in the chart. So I would not be surprised at all to see a violent, aggressive move similar to this. So, oh my goodness, what a beautiful opportunity we got. Before we end this stream, look at what showed up. This is what an inverse head and shoulders looks like that's played out. So this is exactly what I'm looking for, hoping for, think might even show up. We have our head right here. We have, we had shoulders a little bit higher right here. There's a little retest right in there. And then the neckline would have been right here. So with this being the neckline, you would take that move. You would go from the neckline right here, right at 53. You would come down to the head, and I need to really unlock my tools. And then take this bad boy, put it right at the top, and sure enough, where'd we go? We hit that spot. So that's why we look for these patterns in the charts. We'll continue to share them with you guys. They are not guarantees. They don't let us know that this is going to happen for sure or not. They're just indicators to give us a little bit of heads up. And when enough of them stack up, you generally see it play out. So we're excited to see the head and shoulders formation that we're currently looking at give a similar play out to the head and shoulders formation that was posed last time. So that would be a great move. That would get us close to all-time highs, and there's a lot of money to be made in the meanwhile. So short term, looking good. Long term, who really knows? Macro term, we feel great. That being said, I hope you guys got some value, enjoyed today's stream. SiFu, thank you for your breakdown in the metaverse. Looks like we also have a little bit of news, so we'll have links for you guys if you want to educate yourself on what an inverse head and shoulders is. Investopia breaks down very clearly that what it is and what that dictates. Obviously, I don't think you want breakdowns from gentlemen like me. We just tell you what we see. We're not going to be the best description from it. So we'll always give you the resources. We'll teach you how we learned ourselves, and that's what we're here for. So please let us know how we can grow, help you, provide more value for you. And I hope you enjoyed. That being said, C3, much love, much appreciation. Over and out.